There is a kind of wealth that cannot be counted, yet it shapes the life of every person. Long before gold or paper notes, the masters of Shaolin spoke of energy, an invisible current flowing through the body and extending outward into the world. This current forms the aura, and whether it is strong or weak determines how life responds to you. Opportunities, people, even prosperity itself are drawn or repelled by this silent force. In today's teaching, I will guide you into this deeper understanding. You will see why true wealth does not begin in the marketplace, but in the stillness of your own breath. You will learn how the simple act of mindful breathing strengthens the aura, why unshaken discipline makes a person magnetic, and how clarity of mind can unlock doors that force alone cannot open. These are not abstract ideas. They are the same methods Shaolin masters carried with them through centuries of training, both in meditation halls and in the hardships of daily life. Most people believe wealth is something they must run after. But here lies the secret. The more you chase, the further it drifts. Energy responds to alignment, not to desperation. When body, breath, and mind are balanced, wealth comes as a reflection of that inner order. This is why the old masters were never poor in spirit, even when they owned little. Their aura was their true treasure. Stay until the end of this journey, because each principle builds upon the next, forming a path few outside the monastery walls have ever walked. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If you seek strength, clarity, and mastery, subscribe and join us on this path of transformation. The way you breathe tells the story of the life you are living. A hurried breath reveals a hurried mind. A shallow breath reveals an unsettled spirit. In Shaolin training, we begin not with weapons or complex movements, but with the simplest act of life itself, the breath. For within the breath lies Qi, the vital energy that nourishes the body and shapes the aura. When the breath is weak, scattered, or shallow, the aura becomes thin, fragile, and easily disturbed. It is like a candle flame in the wind, flickering, unstable, unable to give steady light. A person may not notice this directly, yet the world feels it. Others sense hesitation, insecurity, or distraction, even before words are spoken. In this way, scarcity is not first created by money running low, but by the energy within losing its strength. Now consider the opposite, a deep, steady, mindful breath. With each inhale, the body expands calmly, drawing in life force. With each exhale, tension is released, and the mind becomes clear. This rhythm strengthens the aura. People around you feel presence without knowing why. They feel magnetism, as if your energy has weight, as if your words carry gravity. This is why the Shaolin monks train breath until it is no longer mechanical but intentional. Whether sitting in stillness, practicing forms, or walking silently through the mountain paths, their focus returns again and again to breathing deeply and naturally. In such discipline, the aura expands quietly, like a field of strength around the body. It does not need to announce itself. It simply radiates. Breath is the gatekeeper of energy. To discipline the breath is to discipline the mind, and to discipline the mind is to build the foundation of a powerful aura. There is a strength that does not shout, yet it commands respect. In the Shaolin way, this strength is born from stillness. When the mind is restless, chasing every sound and tone, the aura grows thin, like ripples scattered across a stormy pond. But when the mind settles, when silence is cultivated, the water becomes clear, and the reflection returns. The monks understood that constant noise is not only outside in the world of voices, machines, and movement, it is also inside. Thoughts rush, emotions flare, desires pull in many directions. Each wave drains energy. In such a state, even when the body appears calm, the aura flickers with instability. This is why stillness is trained with discipline just as much as strength or speed. Stillness does not mean doing nothing, it means anchoring. It is the art of standing firm while the world moves. It is the ability to rest in clarity when the current of life tries to carry you away. In that anchoring, the aura grows calm and steady, like a mountain unmoved by passing clouds. People are drawn to this presence, often without knowing why. They feel a quiet confidence that does not beg for attention. They sense steadiness instead of desperation. Just as water flows toward the lowest point, opportunities flow toward those who are rooted deeply within themselves. Ancient teachers would sit in silence for hours, not as an escape from the world, but as training for the spirit. Each moment of stillness sharpened their awareness and polished their aura. This discipline allowed them to walk into the noise of life without losing their center. In stillness, they discovered that the greatest movement begins within, and the strongest wealth is built on silence. A life of mastery is not built only in moments of great achievement. It is shaped in the quiet, ordinary acts that repeat each day. The monks of Shaolin remind us that even the smallest gesture leaves a trace on the aura. Walking without awareness, eating in haste, or speaking without thought scatters energy like seeds cast into the wind. But when each act is done with care, energy gathers and the aura strengthens. To walk mindfully is to feel each step touch the ground with purpose. To eat with awareness is to honor the nourishment that sustains life. To speak with intention is to let words carry weight, not waste. In these practices, discipline enters the smallest details of living. This discipline is not a burden, but a refinement. It prevents energy from leaking away in carelessness, and over time, it builds a presence that others can sense even before you speak. The masters taught that true dignity is not worn on the face or in clothing. It is revealed in the way a person moves. A bow given with sincerity, a hand lifted with control, a gaze held with calm, all of these radiate confidence without effort. Such confidence is not arrogance, it is balance. It is the harmony of body, breath, and mind aligned in simple action. In the old monasteries, students trained not only in martial arts but in sweeping floors, pouring tea, and tending the grounds. Each act became a form of meditation, a chance to polish awareness. They knew that to master the great, one must master the small, and so their aura grew steady and dignified, shining quietly through the rhythm of daily life. Desire is a fire, left uncontrolled, it burns wildly, consuming everything in its path. With discipline, it becomes a steady flame, one that gives light, warmth, and direction. The Shaolin tradition teaches that discipline is not about restriction for its own sake, but about purifying energy so it flows without obstruction. When the inner clutter of laziness, anger, and greed is removed, what remains is clarity, and clarity is power. A person without discipline chases endlessly, new goals, new pleasures, new distractions, yet never finds rest. Their aura reflects this chaos, and others sense it instantly. There is no trust in a flame that flickers unpredictably. But a disciplined person moves differently. Their words are measured, their actions consistent, their aura shines with stability, and this steadiness draws both people and opportunities toward them. In the monasteries, young disciples were not only trained in combat forms, they rose before dawn, followed strict rituals, and repeated tasks until patience became second nature. Sweeping the same courtyard each morning or holding the same stance until the body trembled was not meant to punish. It was meant to cleanse. Each repetition burned away weakness, each act carved out space for clarity to enter. Over time, the discipline that once felt heavy became a source of freedom. Wealth in the Shaolin view does not rush to those who crave it most, but to those whose aura reflects trust. Others feel safe to invest, to follow, to support someone whose discipline is unwavering. In this way, discipline itself becomes a magnet. The world sees in such a person the rare quality of reliability, and reliability in every age is a treasure more valuable than gold. When the body moves in one direction, the breath in another, and the mind elsewhere, energy is divided. This division weakens the aura, just as a river split into many streams loses its strength. The Shaolin philosophy teaches that true power is born from alignment when body, breath, and mind move as one. In such harmony, energy gathers, and the aura shines with unmistakable presence. Consider a warrior in training. If his body is strong but his mind scattered, his movements lack precision. If his breath is unsteady, his strength fades quickly. But when his stance is rooted, his breath steady, and his mind calm, each strike carries not just force but integrity. This is the same in life beyond the training hall. Misalignment drains us quietly, working without focus, speaking without conviction, living without balance. The aura of such a person feels unsteady, and opportunities slip away. Alignment, however, builds integrity. Integrity means that the inner and outer are not at war with each other. Words match actions, intentions guide choices, and energy flows without resistance. This integrity is rare, and others feel it immediately. They sense trustworthiness, clarity, and calm strength. Such qualities are the foundation of true prosperity, because prosperity is not sustained by luck, but by consistency. The monks understood that alignment is not achieved once and for all, it is a practice renewed each day. Through breathing exercises, mindful movement and meditation, they polished the link between body, breath, and mind until it became unbreakable. In this state, the aura becomes whole, radiating a quiet certainty that wealth and opportunity cannot resist. Alignment transforms a scattered life into a unified force, and unity is the essence of mastery. True abundance is not earned through grasping, but through release. The more tightly a person clutches at wealth, the more it slips through their fingers, like sand in a storm. Shaolin masters understood this paradox long before it was written in any book. They taught detachment, not rejection, not disdain for material life, but freedom from fear and craving. In the silent halls of the monastery, students learned to hold lightly to possessions, to desires, even to expectations of the future. Every attachment was examined, every longing weighed, until the mind could stand free. This practice did not leave them poor, it made them luminous. A detached aura signals abundance, because energy is not trapped in worry or greed. It flows outward, calm and expansive, drawing opportunities and resources naturally. Those who are desperate, by contrast, radiate a subtle tension that repels. Others sense the grasping, the fear of loss, the insistence that life must conform to desire. No amount of effort can overcome this imbalance. Wealth flows to those who are open, not to those who clutch, because life responds to energy first, not to insistence. In the quiet meditation of the Shaolin way, letting go becomes a form of mastery. Each time a desire is released without struggle, each time fear is faced and set aside, the aura grows lighter, yet stronger. This strength does not shout, it simply is. It is a magnet that does not force, but invites. The secret lies not in earning more, but in becoming a vessel capable of receiving. In detachment, there is freedom. In freedom there is power, and in that power, wealth in its truest sense naturally follows. The strength of the aura is measured not only in stillness or discipline, but in the reach of one's energy toward others. Shaolin teachings hold that service and contribution are not mere acts of kindness, they are forms of spiritual training. When a person gives more than they take, their aura expands, becoming a field of influence that touches far beyond the self. In the monasteries, students learned early that tending the gardens, assisting elders, or guiding peers were as vital as any martial form. Each act of service refined the mind, calmed the heart, and strengthened energy. Giving without expectation cultivates an inner wealth that cannot be measured in coins. It teaches presence, patience, and humility. In these moments, the aura grows luminous, and the energy that flows outward begins to attract what the mind cannot command. When energy uplifts others, it becomes magnetic. People naturally gravitate toward those whose presence elevates rather than drains. Opportunities emerge quietly, connections form with ease, and abundance flows in ways that seem effortless. This magnetism is subtle yet undeniable. It is the power of alignment between intention, action, and spirit. The monks understood that the world responds to generosity of energy long before it responds to generosity of resources. A person who embodies this principle radiates a quiet authority. Their aura signals trust, strength, and reliability. This creates a natural current, drawing people, circumstances, and resources toward them without force. True mastery, therefore, is not selfish accumulation, but the deliberate expansion of influence through contribution. Each act of service becomes a ripple, strengthening the aura and deepening presence. Through giving, the energy of the self grows, and in that growth, the currents of life align to bring not only wealth, but respect, opportunity, and harmony. The day begins long before the first light touches the monastery walls. In these early hours, the masters of Shaolin embrace rituals that have been practiced for centuries, not as habit, but as a way to shape the energy of their entire being. Morning stillness centers the mind, breath practice fuels the body, and mindful movement aligns every motion with intention. Gratitude, expressed quietly, opens the heart to receive the flow of life rather than cling to it. These rituals are not mere routines, they are shields and refiners. Each repetition resets energy, clearing away the residue of doubt, distraction, and negativity that clings from yesterday. A mind grounded in morning stillness carries clarity into every encounter. A body tuned by disciplined breath responds with strength and grace. The aura, once scattered or dim, begins to glow steadily, unshaken by the noise that waits outside the temple gates. Consistency is the secret that transforms these acts from simple exercises into profound mastery. A single burst of effort may inspire, but it cannot create lasting change. It is the quiet daily practice that shapes the currents of energy, weaving them into a field that naturally attracts opportunity, harmony, and prosperity. The masters knew that each day is a chance to polish the self, to sweep away subtle disturbance, and to cultivate presence that cannot be feigned. Over time, the rhythm of these rituals becomes part of the body's memory. Breath, movement, and awareness flow seamlessly, and the aura maintains its clarity even amidst challenge. Wealth, success, and influence follow, not because they were chased, but because energy has been ordered and refined. In the Shaolin perspective, it is through the disciplined care of daily practice that the unseen forces align, and a life of balance and abundance quietly unfolds. True wealth is not counted in coins or measured in possessions. The masters of Shaolin understood that the richest life is one of freedom, clarity, balance, and mastery over the self. When the mind is calm, the body disciplined, and the spirit aligned, a person carries a wealth that cannot be stolen, diminished, or lost. Money may come and go, opportunities may rise and fade, yet the aura forged through mastery remains constant, steady, and magnetic. In the training halls, students learned that each challenge was an opportunity to cultivate this inner wealth, enduring fatigue without complaint, maintaining focus when distractions arise, and practicing patience in moments of frustration were all exercises in building resilience. Every repetition, every moment of conscious effort, polished the aura and strengthened presence. This invisible wealth radiates outward, creating an energy that draws support, trust, and abundance naturally, without force. The Shaolin view teaches that material wealth is a reflection of inner state, not the cause of it. A person desperate for gain projects scarcity and tension, which repels opportunity. A person grounded in mastery radiates calm strength, integrity, and purpose, qualities that attract not only resources but respect, loyalty, and influence. In this way, wealth becomes a companion to character, flowing toward those whose inner life is disciplined, expansive, and harmonious. Ultimately, true prosperity is a mirror of the self. When the aura is clear, balanced, and radiant, life responds in kind. Success arrives quietly, as if drawn by invisible currents, and fortune settles naturally in the presence of mastery. The Shaolin masters remind us that the greatest treasure is not what is held in the hand, but what is cultivated within. A mind at peace, a spirit aligned, and an energy that attracts the world without struggle or grasping. In the quiet of your own presence lies a force more powerful than any effort or ambition. Wealth does not come to those who chase blindly, but to those whose aura carries clarity, discipline, and calm strength. Every breath taken with awareness, every moment of stillness, every act of service and mindful action quietly shapes this energy. Over time, your inner discipline becomes a magnet, drawing opportunities, prosperity, and harmony toward you. The Shaolin path reminds us that mastery of self is the foundation of abundance. By cultivating your energy, refining your mind, and aligning body, breath, and spirit, you transform the world around you, not by force, but by presence. Life responds to clarity and balance. Wealth in its truest form follows naturally. Carry these practices into your daily life. Begin with small steps, a moment of stillness in the morning, mindful breathing through the day, acts of genuine service. Notice how your energy shifts, how your aura expands, how life begins to respond differently. This is the power of discipline turned inward, creating outward harmony. May your aura grow steady and strong, and may abundance flow toward you with ease and grace. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this teaching resonates, like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and continue walking the path of mastery and quiet strength with us.